Hi, you're watching Martial Reader. In the previous chapter, Muscle Uncle and Feral tried to break the seal, but they failed. Now they plan to go back and look for a mage that can break it. But before they could leave, Wazzy noticed that the barrier is shaky. So he touched it and breaks the seal to a million pieces. The entrance is now open, so everyone enters the ruins. Now on to the next part. Now that they are inside, the mysterious duo was surprised since their barriers are only open for those of their mushroom clan, and wonders how they break it, so they conclude that the intruders must have brought a high-level mage with them. Therefore, they decide to be careful, but no matter who they are, they can't let them find the core area, and that will be easy since they can just kill them all. Meanwhile, Wazzy is amazed by the scenery inside the starting area of the mushroom ancestral ruins, so he tells Piggy to look at it, and it is as if there is a sea of stars on the cave ceiling, and it feels as if his entire body is invigorated from just looking at it, and that is because mushroom species have an affinity for dim and moist places. Within these environments, they will have an increase in recovery, which he doesn't know any of this. Then, one of the braves suddenly run, thinking he will be the first to get the treasure, and with this, others follows him, but they soon realize that was a dumb choice, as the first brave stepped on a mushroom mine and got himself killed. Now the others see that there are mushrooms lurking in the area. Then a teacher lectures his student about this mushrooms, and they are called mushroom mines. When a bomb mushroom stays dormant for a long period, they will evolve into mushroom mines, and they can either avoid them or defuse them using ice magic, which she was thankful for the teacher's guidance. Then the student asks about those golden mushrooms, and they are glowing and look pretty harmless, which the teacher has never seen one before either. So he assumes that it could be the treasure they were looking for or a trap. So he advises her that they shouldn't be rash and should properly inspect it first. And since he believes most traps require a certain amount of pressure to trigger it, so he went to touch it in order for him to inspect it. But his methods were flawed, so his body was torn in half by an anglerfish-looking mushroom. The student was shocked to see his teacher die in front of her eyes, so she cries for help. But there is no one to help her, since other braves were occupied with their own survival. But Feral has easily controlled the situation and is guiding on what to do, while Wazzy and Piggy stomped on a mine mushroom but it didn't activate, which he wonders why. Suddenly an anglerfish appeared before him and surprised him, but he was just ignored by it. So now he realized, although he may look like a human now, he is still technically a mushroom species. Then the Muscle Uncle is now in confrontation with that angler mushroom, so he copies Wazzy, since he saw him stay still and the angler mushroom should also ignore him. However, it still opens its mouth. Now he questions why it is still coming over to him, but suddenly Piggy launched Piggy Punch, knocking it over. This made the other angler mushroom look over their way, so now few of them charge at Piggy. And because Piggy is now in danger, Wazzy mans up and faced the angler mushroom. While he is sweating nervously, he still had the guts to threaten them. The anglerfish then turns away, which Muscle Uncle now believes Wazzy is an expert. Meanwhile, the angler mushrooms are blown to bits by Feral one by one, but then one of them attacks him from above. And to his surprise, a bullet comes out from his mouth, which he dodges in a nick of time, and he counters with a drill shot. Feral felt another presence coming from behind him, so he instinctively dodged the bullets, and with another drill shot he counters. Then again another one appears on his blind spot, which he barely dodges the bullets, and as he dodges them he was wondering what the gunner's identity, even if their skills are only a little worse off than him, but they can hide inside the mouths of those terrible monsters, and as the barrage of bullets aimed at him, he was left with no choice, so he decides to use his trump card. He takes out the bullet and loads it in his gun. Then he jumps to dodge the attack and use the ultra purification round. The mysterious gunner knows what's about to happen, so she retreats, while some of the monsters weren't fast enough, as they wither away. And at the same time, all of the braves was enveloped by light particles and was healed back to their top shape. Now the people realize how strong the gunslinger from Sacred Sanctum really is. Feral clarifies that it was a special bullet blessed by the Saintess. Not only do monsters burn when exposed to the holy light, but it can also heal injuries for humans. But even with Feral's miracle bullet, others felt hopeless as they lost their companions and experienced standing on death's door. They are now discouraged to continue, but suddenly Feral blasts his gun at the air, gaining their attention to him, and now he tries to convince them, saying defeat is temporary and that he believes everyone who could survive up to this point is more capable enough. and as long as they persevere, there is nothing that can stop them, which made the people agitated and furious, as they explained that they are just here for the treasures, and defeating the criminal duo is his own goal, not theirs. Therefore Pharaoh mocks them for chasing after material things, and for having a weakling mentality, and the difference between them and the top fighters is dignity, which they don't have because they exchanged it with money, and for them to take back their dignity he asks them to come with him. But they were not moved by his bullshit and cringe dialogue, so they tell him to piss off, and they mock him for being an entitled douche, and unlike him, they don't have a complete set of high-level gear to protect themselves, which Pharaoh mocks them again, and he tells them that attitude is precisely why they will all forever remain as weaklings. This statement just triggers them more, but before they could respond, he promised on the dignity of the Sacred Sanctum Guild, he will use his life to protect everyone, and he will not take a single treasure as long as they help him defeat the criminal duo. And then he combos his speech with righteous persuasion to be more successful on changing their minds, and he says all the bullshit he could muster. He even used Wazi's name together with him. Now the people were touched by him, and was starting to change their opinions. Still they were unsure, but suddenly the muscle uncle stepped up, as he decided to stay and join them. This made an effect as the others follows him and decided to stay too, and now they even changed their mind to vanquish the criminal duo, instead of finding the treasure first. While Wazi was amazed and thought that his uncle Pharaoh was so awesome, since he was able to bring out the righteousness in everyone's hearts. Then Pharaoh ended his speech with a quote from what the saintess said once: "Hope is precious, justice shall always prevail." After Pharaoh convinces the braves, everyone works together to avoid the traps, and with teamwork, they can easily kill the angler mushrooms, while Pharaoh has no trouble dealing with the monsters all on his own. After that, he notifies them that it is getting late, so he asks everyone to set up camp here for the night, and they will take turns to stand guard later. A few moments later, the camp was set up. Piggy was now cooking her food, and Wazi finally rested his cheeks, as he exclaimed that he didn't expect this to take such a long time, and was wondering how big this cave was and if they are lost. Which Pharaoh, after arriving at the scene, replies that they won't get lost, since he has left marks on the path here. As long as they don't loop back, they will get to the core area by tomorrow, and the task will basically be done by tomorrow. Then Wazi praised Pharaoh for being excellent earlier, to which he responds he is overestimating him, since everything that he has now was given to him by the Sacred Sanctum. He was once a petty criminal who did many evil deeds, at least, until he met the Lord Saintess. In the flashback years before he became the righteous Pharaoh, he called himself the Punisher Dick, and he was even torturing someone, but suddenly the Saintess appeared before him, healing the wounded, and illuminating the scene with holy light, and it was when he met the Lord Saintess that he found out the true meaning of existence. The Sacred Sanctum is the guild with the greatest number of priests in all the brave mainland. Because of this, they can produce countless types of healing potions. Priests and potions are indispensable to anyone who wishes to adventure. Thus Sacred Sanctum became one of the continent's most influential guilds. It's a shame that he is not a priest and can only serve as a mere fighter for the guild, but as long as he can serve the Saintess and continue to spread hope and justice through the continent, he is content. This story amazed Wazi, as he couldn't find a word to respond, but a man was approaching from behind. Suddenly he whispered into his ears, surprising him immensely as he asked what is he trying to do, to which he replied that he was too hot-headed and did some rude things earlier today. However, even then, he still saved him from those monsters, so he wants to give him the meal box he prepared earlier today as a token of friendship. This development surprised him even more, as he wondered why does he feel even more disgusted by the muscle uncle's current behavior compared to his arrogant attitude earlier. Still, as soon as he saw the cute lunchbox, his demeanor changed, but Piggy was instantly behind him, so she snatched the lunchbox away and ate all of it in one go. Wazi smacked her for that, and he told her that she couldn't do that, and asks where are her manners. Piggy looks at Wazi with googly eyes, as she touches the remaining sauce on the lunchbox, and asks what manner is, while she licks her finger and touches Wazi's face. This made him retreat, as he exclaims what is he going to do with her. The muscle uncle laughs, and tells them that it is fine, he has prepared a lot of them, so they can eat as much as they want, as he takes them out for everyone. Now the atmosphere isn't upbeat, and Wazzy enjoys the delicious meal that Muscle Uncle prepared. He would never have guessed that Muscle Uncle is such a great chef just from looking at him, which Muscle Uncle proudly states that he actually likes cooking more than adventuring. Once he saved enough money, he will quit being an adventurer, go home and marry his fiancée, start a restaurant, and maybe raise a few little ones. Wazzy backs up on him, saying that he believes in the Muscle Uncle, and with his skills, his restaurant will succeed. Wazzy adds that Muscle Uncle's fiancée must be really lucky to have such a great chef as her future husband. Speaking of his fiancée, he takes out a photo of her. He tells him that she is actually a very talented archer. So Wazzy took the photo to look at it, as Muscle Uncle happily continued his story and that his fiancée would be in charge of entertaining the customers. While he worked in the kitchen, they had already planned out their future long ago. But to Wazzy's surprise, Muscle Uncle's fiancée is the archer he met before, so he states that he thinks they are both really suited for each other. Then Farrell asks Wazzy if he has thought about his invitation to join the Sacred Sanctum. This makes Wazzy think, although he will be able to obtain information quicker if he joins a big guild, the risk of being exposed if he met a high-level priest or magician who could see through his current form, and it is like he willingly enters the tiger's den. So he made an excuse not to join, saying that he is neither a priest nor strong enough to be a fighter, and he doesn't think he is suitable for joining the guild. Farrell clarifies to him that the saint has specifically told them to look for those pure of heart to join their guild, so he is sure that he will be able to join if he wants to. And besides, if he obtains the saint's recognition, he will be able to become a core member. Core members can enjoy numerous benefits that people outside the guild can only ever dream of, which the Muscle Uncle congratulate Wazzy, since this is an opportunity that many other people will never get. Wazzy tries to reason that he is actually not much familiar with guilds, so Muscle Uncle explained to him clearly about the 6 strongest and most influential guilds in all of Brave Mainlands, and they are namely the Sword Saint Guild, a guild for warriors; Sacred Sanctum, the Guild of Priests; Tamer Alliance, the Guild of Beastmasters; the Spirit Forest, the Guild of Rangers; the Eye of the Firebane Guild, the Guild of Mages; Pirates Sea of Thieves, the Guild of Rogues. These 6 are considered first tier. There are also a bunch of strong second tier guilds, such as the Walrus Ivory Guild. After the second tier guilds, there are numerous smaller guilds, such as his Muscle is Life Guild. The strength and resources of smaller guilds are too little. Most of them are just made up of people who share the same interests, and that's why they usually travel around alone. However, the first and second tiers are more formal and typically watch over territories. They can amass large numbers of braves for raids. Even unaffiliated people would join the raids to gain recognition and become official members. This information made Wazzy realize that it turns out the Eye of the Firebane Guild that burnt down the Mushroom Kingdom is one of the top 6 guilds in this world, and the Mushroom King was completely helpless against that masked man. People as strong as him, he is sure there are more of them in the other guilds. The strength of the human guilds is too scary. Muscle Uncle continues that is why it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be invited to become an official member of the Sacred Sanctum. But still, Wazzy reasons with them that he is still mapping out what he wants to do, so he will pass on joining guilds for now, as he thinks he would be crazy to send himself to his death by joining one of those guilds. Muscle Uncle laughs and accepts his reason, but adventuring isn't the only thing they can do. Some people are also like them, wanting to settle down instead of fighting all day, and there's a great guild competition a month from now. If he has made up his mind, he can go join it. If he performs well, he can look for a guild that matches what he wants to do. After their conversations have gone long enough, Wazzy believes that the timing should be okay to see if there's any information about the Golem seals that are being passed down among the humans. So he changes the topic and asks them if they have ever heard of the demon god Golem seals. Muscle Uncle responds that it is just a myth and asks what is wrong. Wazzy explains that he was just wondering, since Golem will be revived if all 6 tablets sealing him were able to be unsealed, shouldn't there be people protecting the seals? Which Farrell suddenly was alerted by Wazzy's statement, so he asks Wazzy if he has seen the tablets sealing Golem, and where. Wazzy replies as he laughs faintly, that he just heard about it from a wandering storyteller. He has never seen it. He was just worried if it was true and demon god Golem were to revive, all of Brave Mainland would be destroyed. Farrell was unresponsive, while on the other hand, Muscle Uncle tells Wazzy not to worry, and the guild leaders of the top 6 guilds are all experts whose strength ranks in the top 10 in the entire continent. Even if demon god Gollum were to revive, they wouldn't lose. And he adds as a small flex that his guild leader is also a powerful expert. Suddenly someone pokes at him, and it turns out it was Piggy asking for more lunchboxes. Wazzy says no, as she has already eaten her share, but Muscle Uncle is kind and tells them that it is all right. And although his meal box can't recover health or boost attributes, as long as it can make others happy, it is enough. He has plenty more, so he asks them not to hold back, which everyone happily wants to have a meal box. Now the atmosphere is quite jolly, as they enjoy the meal box that Muscle Uncle made, and are happily enjoying each other's company. They even tried an arm wrestling competition, in which Piggy easily wins, and now everyone seems to be happy, and it seems like the past is behind them. Then Wazzy looks at his surrounding to see Feral standing on the corner all alone, so he approaches him and asks why didn't he join them, since he is the reason why they are even together right now. He responds that it is fine, he was just doing what the Saintess asked him to do, to bring hope into everyone's heart. Hit that like button and thanks for watching.